You guys, it is day 73, 73, 73. I was practicing that. 73. Day 73, educated black woman on a corporate hiatus. I am writing fairy tales for black girls and I'm in the process of pursuing my PhD and I'm so excited. I'm so blessed. Okay, I need to get ready. 73 days is just crazy. But I'm still reading. I'm still in this corporate hiatus. I'm still researching and I'm still whimsying my way through fairy tales. I read so many fairy tales. Today I read Child Roland, and this one was actually really fun to read. There were rhymes throughout it, and I can really see how tales like this became children's classics, especially for like puppet shows and storytelling and things like that. And some of the stories are so short that I really can't imagine them as full movies. Like Jack and the Beanstalk. It's not that long. We just added a lot, and he just kept going. But back to Child Roland, because how are these kids going to look for their sister then go missing? And then they bring in the Merlin, the warlock. And I'm immediately wondering, like, were warlocks ever real? Or are they just a part of folklore, or the way people explain magic and just things they don't understand? All in all, Merlin gave them instructions to go to Elfland. And honestly, the instructions were violent, but he told them what to do. And nobody wanted to listen except the youngest one, of course. You know, I'm the baby in the family, so I get it. I understand. But I admired how much Child Roland loved his little sisters and siblings, and that just stood out to me. And then there was a mention of faith or prayer, and I want to go back and look closer at that because I'm noticing religion and belief systems showing up in some tales too. And then I finished Molly Whoopi. That girl was tough. Like Molly was brave, resourceful, and she was not playing around. I like that. She's on my type of time. And I still don't really care for how marriage is constantly the reward in these fairy tales, but I have to remember the times was different. That was clearly a common idea of what a happy ending looked like. But what really stood out to me is how often the parents were abandoning their children because they can't feed them. They would literally leave them in the woods to die. And that's crazy to me because it keeps showing up enough. So now I got to research it because is this some historical context behind poverty and family survival or childhood and why abandonment became such a common plot? And then I finished Red Ettin. And this one had a lot of magic and beasts and monsters and a fairy and all kinds of supernatural elements. And I'm just sitting here like, where are all these creatures coming from? Giants and ogres and ettins and fairies and warlocks and monsters and beasts? Were people actually believing in these things? Were they symbolic? Were they warnings, metaphors? Or did the storytellers just have some extremely vivid imaginations? And I'm on a roll, so I'm just going to have to share these real quickly. Lazy Jack, Mr. Fox, The History of Tom Thumb, and The Golden Arm. Don't just marry for riches. But nah, every story is just giving me another question for my PhD research and another thing to think about while I'm continuing to create fairy tales for black girls. Stay tender and dangerous.